Today, the life simulation you are about to experience is the life of a Tang Dynasty poet. You will be born in the golden age of the great Tang, wielding brush and ink as your sword, poetry as your soul, writing your legend in the most brilliant era of Chinese history. In the year 712 AD, you are born into a scholarly family outside Luoyang. Your father, a failed imperial exam candidate, places all his unfulfilled dreams upon you. For as long as you can remember, the bookshelves at home are stacked with the Book of Songs and the Songs of Chu. By the age of 5, you can recite over 100 ancient poems. The neighbors all call you a prodigy. Every morning, your mother takes you to read under the plum blossom tree in the courtyard. Those tonal rhythms become the most beautiful memories of your childhood. At age 8, you write your very first poem. It is a poem about the moon, naive, yet greatly praised by your private tutor. He pats your shoulder and says, "This child will achieve great things." A seed is planted in your heart. At 14, you begin traveling through mountains and rivers. You cross the Qinling Mountains, ford the Yellow River, and the magnificent landscapes along the way stir your young heart. At the summit of Mount Hua, you feel for the first time the overwhelming grandeur between heaven and earth, and verses pour from you like a spring. At 16, you study under a renowned Confucian scholar in Chang'an. Rising at the rooster's crow each day, you pore over the classics and histories. Among your classmates, your talent stands out the most, yet you gradually realize that talent alone is far from enough. The road of the imperial examinations is far harder than you imagined. In Chang'an, you witness for the first time the most prosperous city in the world. 1 million people, merchants gathered in the east and west markets, exotic pipa melodies drifting from foreign taverns. Walking down Zhuke Avenue, you silently vow, one day, this city will remember your name. In the spring of your 18th year, you enter the imperial examination hall for the first time. Thousands of candidates compete in the same arena, each harboring dreams of seeing their name on the golden list. You grind your ink, raise your brush, and over 3 days and nights, write your most brilliant policy essays and poetic compositions. On the day the results are posted, you push through the crowd, your heart pounding like a drum. When you see your name on the list, you can hardly believe your eyes. You have passed as a jinshi. You throw back your head and laugh, galloping on horseback through the spring breeze, seeing all the flowers of Chang'an in a single day. After passing the exam, you attend the Zhujiang banquet. Among the flowers of the apricot garden, you meet a group of like-minded poets. You raise your cups, drink freely, compose impromptu verses, and respond to each other's poems. Under the moonlight that night, you make the most important friends of your life. You are granted a minor official position and begin your career in Chang'an. By day you handle government affairs. By night you write poetry by lamplight. Your poems gradually spread through literary circles. Some call your verse fresh and natural. Others say it is grand and powerful. At 25, you meet her at a poetry gathering. She is a famous talented woman of Chang'an, whose pipa playing can move one to tears. You write her a love poem. She reads it and smiles faintly. From then on, a thread of tenderness weaves through your verse. By 30, your poetic fame has spread across the land. Your poems are copied and sung everywhere. Even the palace singers perform your verses. In Chang'an during the Tianbao era, you have become one of the most sought-after literary figures. The emperor, hearing of your talent, summons you to the palace. In the Hanyuan Hall of Daming Palace, you compose a poem on the spot, delighting the dragon countenance. The emperor bestows upon you the purple gold fish pouch and appoints you as an attendant of the Hanlin Academy. At that moment, you feel you have finally reached the pinnacle of your life. During your days at the Hanlin Academy, you draft imperial edicts for the emperor and write poems in praise of the imperial consort. You move freely through the palace, drinking with the powerful. Yet you gradually discover undercurrents in the court. Treacherous ministers hold sway, the loyal are pushed aside, and unease stirs in your heart. You speak your mind bluntly, submitting memorials about border threats and governance failures. Your petitions are passionate and piercing, every word drawing blood. Yet what you receive in return is the jealousy of powerful ministers and the emperor's cold shoulder. You begin to realize that a poet's brush cannot defeat a politician's blade. In the 14th year of Tianbao, and Lushan raises his army at Fanyang. 150,000 rebels surge south like a flood. Tongguan falls, and Chang'an is lost. You watch with your own eyes as the city you love burns in the flames of war. Civilians flee in panic, bodies litter the streets, and your heart shatters. On the road of escape, you are separated from your family. You blend into the stream of refugees heading south, your clothes in tatters, your stomach empty. The former Hamlin scholar is now reduced to a roadside beggar. You write a poem of grief and fury. The nation is shattered, but mountains and rivers remain. Spring returns to the city, but only grass and trees grow deep. You make your way south through many detours, seeking refuge with an old friend. During the chaos of war, you are captured by rebels and suspected by government forces alike. Several times you nearly lose your life, but through a poet's wit and sheer luck, you escape each time. In these few years, half your hair has turned white. After the rebellion is quelled, you are demoted to a minor post in a remote region. The court suspects you of disloyalty during the rebel occupation. With no way to defend yourself, you swallow your grievances and set off on the road of exile. At your remote posting, far from the noise of Chang'an, you begin to truly observe the suffering of the common people. Farmers crushed under heavy taxes, conscription tearing countless families apart. Your poetry is no longer about romance and moonlight. It is filled with compassion for the people. At 50, you resign your post and begin a wandering life. You drift east on a small boat down the Yangtze River, seeking inner peace among the mountains and waters along the way. Your poems grow ever more somber, yet ever more profound, each word weighing 1,000 pounds. You settle into a thatched cottage, but the roof leaks through endless nights of rain and life is hard. Still, you keep writing. You write about the autumn wind tearing apart your thatched hut, not lamenting for yourself, but crying out, if only there were 10,000 grand mansions to shelter all the poor scholars of the world in joy. Your health worsens, disease plagues you, your eyesight fades, but you do not put down your brush. In the final years of your life, you produce the greatest works of your career. Those poems, soaked in blood and tears, become timeless classics for all generations to come. In the winter of 770 AD, you collapse from illness on a small boat by the Xiang River. You gaze at the sunset over the water, recalling the bold vows you made as a youth on the summit of Mount Hua. You smile gently. You know that you have spent your entire life fulfilling that promise. Your life has spanned the entire arc of the Tang Dynasty, from its zenith to its decline. You witnessed the prosperity of the Kaiyuan Golden Age and endured the devastation of the Lushan Rebellion. With the brush in your hand, you recorded the glory and sorrow of an entire era. More than 1,000 years later, your poems are still recited by hundreds of millions. Every Chinese child memorizes the lines you wrote in their classroom. Your life has long since faded, but your poetry has achieved immortality. This is your life simulation, the life of a Tang Dynasty poet. With a single brush, you stood against the storms of an entire era. With your verses, you illuminated 1,000 years of darkness. Thank you for experiencing this journey, poet. Your story ends here.